Hello guys, it is the one and only Christmas Tree back with another video. Today, the topic is going to be imitate his love and compassion. And in this Tree Talk video, we're going to talk about the love and that compassion God has given us throughout the days we have been living in. And without God, or if he didn't even die on the cross, we would not be here. And believe that, okay? That's a fact. And, today you're going to learn a lot, and I hope you do. And the Bible passage is going to be on Mark chapter 1, verse 29 to 45. And yeah, let's get on to the video. The main idea of this lesson is that love, compassion, and forgiveness are the most healing and beneficial forces that the world is needing. Now, let's read the first couple of verses. Verse 29 says, "As soon as they left the synagogue, they went with James and John to the home of Simon and Andrew." Verse 30 says, "Simon's mother-in-law was in bed with a fever, and they immediately told Jesus about her. So he went to her, took her hand, and helped her up. The fever left her, and she began to wait on them." Based on these verses, we can tell that Jesus, of course, tells us in the first verse that Jesus and some of his disciples came back from a synagogue. Then Jesus came to Peter's house and found that Peter's mother-in-law was lying down with a fever. He was moved by his compassion and love. He came and took her by the hand and lifted her up. This touch of his hand was a message of tenderness, sympathy, and proximity. Today, that kind of contact is much needed in the world. That contact of power and strength awakened in Peter's mother-in-law gratitude and love. And, quote, "she served them," end quote. This teaches us that the Lord not only frees us from evil, but enables us to serve others with love. That day, Peter's house became a place of healing for the whole city on which they were in. How important it is that we bring Jesus to our house. The Lord supplied that need in that home and then used it to supply the need of others, which in this case, Jesus helped or healed Peter's mother-in-law. May our house also be a place of healing for many. When we meet in homes, we can meet, love, and serve. Remember that if we have received the touch of Jesus' hand, we are saved to serve others. As you keep reading on verse 32 to 34, you can see that a large crowd approached Peter's house, where they have heard of the healing Jesus had performed to many people. Mark affirms that the cured were very numerous and specifies that Jesus casted out many demons. We should all know, and we should all apply this to our lives, that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and always, and wants everyone to receive healing and liberation. Because there is a sick society where many have sought refuge in drugs, in violence, and are urgently in need of a healing and liberating touch from the Lord. And we humans have the opportunity to do so, and to help others and help them to make them better throughout their lives. And that is what God expects us to do. He expects us to show that love and compassion for others. Verse 35 says, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they exclaimed, 'Everyone is looking for you.' Jesus replied, 'Let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I have come.' So he traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and driving out demons." Jesus spent time to meet his Father. This was the source of his power. He served on earth as we do, depending on the power of the Spirit. The workers who are too busy to pray, God will not bless their efforts. Because if you are just determined just to work and work and work, that's not going to get you anywhere. If the Son of God had to spend time in prayer while ministering on earth, how much more do we need him? However, the habit of prayer requires a certain amount of time and an appropriate place, of course. Jesus, although he was very tired, always set aside time to pray. And we should take that as an example for us as well. We can't just be doing one thing or a few things every day and not do anything for God. We all have to set a time aside for him. At least praying to him, reading the Bible, or just preaching to others and, around your neighborhood, talking about him during work. There's a lot of opportunities you have, and God is giving it to you. And Jesus had a special place because, quote, he went out and went to a desert place, end quote. Prayer in community is good, but in solitude it is more profitable. And for this, it is necessary to look for appropriate places. It is not about going to the desert, but obeying the Lord's command. Enter your room and close the door. Pray to the Father who is in secret. You have a lot of opportunities, and you should take those opportunities. Take that time and preach to others. And this is where I go to the conclusion. Jesus is our example, as you all should know. And we have to imitate his love and compassion. No wonder the disciples said to him, "To whom shall we go? If only you have the words of eternal life." It's Jesus, the leader, we need. He has all the authority, but at the same time, he is tender and compassionate, as we should be as well. He gave his life for us out of love. If we understand this, we can love, serve, and carry the message of salvation to others. And guys, this is where I'm ending the Tree Talk. I hope you learned something in this lesson, and I hope you teach it to others.